Can we talk about this freaking heat in here? Oh my god, look at this. Oh, okay, it's currently going down outside. Big freaking time. Woo. Let's talk about human design and generator energy. Hey, what's up? If you are new in this channel and you like all things human design, all things self-love, all things self-care, I always say self-care is self-love. If you're into all of this stuff, feminine energy and all of these things in here, beliefs, faith, make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna talk about human design and how that was a mind-blowing discovery for me, especially diving into it and discovering it, my experience with this. So I kind of like stumbled upon it. I feel so hot. I stumbled upon it because of the people that I'm following on Instagram. And so I follow this coach and she was talking about the Gene Keys and all of this stuff, and Gene Keys, I think it's supposed to be pronounced Gene Keys, right? So she showed in her story one book about the Gene Keys, and then I went online, searched for it, and then I started to listen to the audiobook. I'm gonna mention the book somewhere in the description. And so it was intense, freaking tense. Like I was 5-10 minutes within the book, the audiobook, and so much was like so much information, things that I had never heard about, and that's probably why I felt overwhelmed. But I could keep up with it, so I kept on listening to it. And it was late at night, so I just stopped it, and the next day I dove deeper and deeper into it. And so human design, wow. So if you're new to human design, you get to know what's your design, what's your profile, what's your archetype, what is your aura, basically based on your date of birth, based on your location of birth, and based on the precise timing of your birthing, right? So your date of birth. So thankfully I have all of this information saved in my phone because I have my birth certificate. I realized that not all birth certificates, depending on where you are in the world, would not have your birth timing. But yeah, if you don't know that, just ask your mom, I guess, if you can, obviously. And so some of the human design tests clearly give you the option to say I don't know at what time. So I think they will then ask you like, is it in the morning, is it in the evening? That's as close as it gets, basically. But knowing the precise time and the human generator test or whatever ask you the exact precise time. So for me it was 10 a.m. 25, and so I'm a generator. I'm a pure generator, and so my authority is sacral authority, and I'm trying to remember everything because that's a whole lot of information at the beginning to deep dive into it, but it gets easier as it gets, as you go through and as you dive into it. So my strategy is to respond. So as a human design pure generator, sacral authority, and my strategy, as I said, is to wait to respond. So when I was diving into all of this for the first time, there was a whole lot of things in there that in my profile I was like, I don't like this, or I don't like that. But in terms of those things that when you are discovering your profile and your aura and stuff like that, you will definitely vibe and connect with certain aspects, and there are other aspects that you will not connect with or that you just will not like. So for me, these are things that I'm a very self-aware person, so these are things that I kind of like knew about me, and a whole lot of things that I was just trying to walk away from. And the doers, because the generators, we are called the doers of this world. And I even heard one coach saying, I like to call you the slaves of this world. And when he said that, I was like, God, I can definitely relate, but that's exactly what I'm trying to like free myself from, and not being anymore like that, right? So if you are like subscribing to this channel and you have ever heard of what I talk about a lot about people pleasing recovery, codependency recovery, self-love, and all of those stuff. And generators, funny enough, tend to be having like kind of like that people pleaser kind of tendencies or personalities. These are for the like light versions of, and obviously the deeper version would be codependent and stuff like that. And so I was like, this is funny that I am a generator, so that means that, are you telling me that I was born to be codependent? And I was like, hell effing no way, I don't want that. I don't want to be like the worker of this world. I don't want to be the slave, because the slave name really related, like I related to it. It just felt like, it felt too familiar, where many times over in my life I overworked. I used to be an overachiever, to, you know, like really bending myself backward to really achieve high things, high targets, working for the best companies in the world and being the best performer, and then opening my companies and trying like have that strive for success. And it was like hunger, strive, like, and it felt, as I said, strive, it didn't feel good as such. The journey felt hard, so I could have my peak of reaching my targets, reaching my goals, and then what I was after didn't necessarily feel as good as I was expecting for it to feel. The arriving, the feeling of arriving never really lasted long, because once I reached a goal, it wasn't, the satisfaction wasn't high enough for me to just stay there for a little bit, for, you know, just rest on my laurels, smell the roses a little bit, and just like enjoy that feeling. It was just like, okay, this is great, like, hey, whatever, like, you know, like have that peak moment that was very short-lived, and then let's go back into work, let's go back into striving. And I believe, from what I remember, there is a part in the generator explanations and stuff of the archetypes that talks a lot about that strive, that hard-working part and all. And I don't remember, I would definitely give the name if I did, websites or coach or whatever was saying, hey, this is part of your life, like to strive and to use that kind of like, to use the struggle, the strive, and the frustration, to use that to go to your next levels. And for a very long time I was definitely living in that frequency, and that's something that I actually really like mastered at some point in my life, where I was like, if I'm getting frustrated, if I am bottling up enough frustration in me, that's gonna give me the motivation to move forward and to change things in my life, to make things happen, to reach goals, to do things and all. And so for a while that was my lifestyle, that was my energy. And now thinking of it, I completely understand why I burned out. This is so toxic. And I'm just here to tell you that, hey, do you know what? You are going to start diving into human design, and you might hear this, or that just might be your lifestyle right now where you actually know that the more you struggle, the more you strive, the more you bottle up frustration, the more like kind of like of a, you feel catapulted after that to your goals, and you reach them faster, or like you get motivated faster, and so on and so forth. But this is so toxic when you just sit down and think about it. Like, why do you have to? I do not want to live my life in a state of frustration and be happy about it just because it's going to allow me to reach my goals. I'm like, fuck that, excuse my French. I do not want to live in this frustration energy. And I'm just here to tell you that as I was diving deeper in the human design and generator, pure generator, I know that manifesting generators kind of have like similarities, but please bear in mind that I'm talking just about pure generators. So what I do is that I talk about and I coach on human design, but I guarantee you that I am only here for generators, because I haven't dug deeper in the others, other archetypes, and I'm not interested, because my thing is to be a generator, because that's what I am, and that's my that's what I'm here to be. That's what I'm here to teach about, how you can live in a more holistic way. Holistic is one of my new favorite words. It just have a more holistic life as a generator, and not be like in the, you will hear the not self. So there's a low vibe generator that you can be. Like, the low vibe will be codependent, people pleaser, always striving, struggle, kind of like paradigm. You either like striving or you're struggling, one or the other, working hard, being the slave in this world. All the people around you, everyone is coming to you just to get help, you helping everybody, and it's constantly like that, to the point where you're the last in the list of things to do. And guess what? When you're the last of the list of things to do, you never get what you need. And so that's very, very codependent. This is how I explain it. So that kind of like slave energy. I'm here to tell you that this is BS if you think that this is how life gets to be at best. It doesn't. You get to actually live fully in your aura, in the high vibe, high version of your generator archetypes, in a way that feels aligned, in a way that feels really good, and in the ways where you are flowing, everything is flowing, you are always in your joy, in your excitement and stuff like that. And so this is what it's all about in here. And if you want to know more about how to do this, definitely subscribe to this channel, you guys. And because this is definitely not going to be my only video on the topic. So generators, we are here to lift up the energy of this world. We are here to make things better. We are here to level up this world. We are here to be leaders of this world. And so I'm not necessarily talking about, become a president or anything like that. Or you don't have to necessarily be an entrepreneur. You don't have to necessarily strive to be, climbing the corporate ladder, because I've been there. You don't have to necessarily do all of these things if they don't speak to you, but chances are that they will speak to you at some level, and that you're going to feel called or naturally put into those roles because of how your aura is, how your energy is. We naturally attract everything. So when I say everything, I literally mean everything to us. Our aura, especially when we are in our high vibe, so when we are excited, when we are in joy, when we are living life in the moment and being happy and being, just our best self and feeling good when everything flows in those specific moments in time. I know that you will relate to this. Everything comes to you. Haven't you noticed how really everything comes to you so easily? And you get opportunities, new opportunities, you get people, everything, the good and the bad, and the middle and the ugly. All of the things in between come to you, come to us. And so what we are here to do is to be like, yes, no, yes, oh hell yes, yeah, absolutely, no, hell no. And it's like that. It really is choosing. It really, we get to be the pickers. Okay. And I know that when you are just so used to people pleasing, and I'm just gonna say people pleasing because this is codependency, right? When you're used to overdoing, people pleasing, and overworking, and just being in that slave energy, it can feel super difficult to imagine a life where you are the picker, the one who picks, the one who gets to pick and say yes, no, especially when you're not used to having boundaries with people. Believe me, I understand, because I used to be like that. Really. And I had a moment, really, like, I think in my late childhood, early teenagehood. I guarantee you that all I wanted was to have friends, to be accepted for who I was, and so on and so forth. And so I was doing my best to be just so nice to everyone. And listen to me, I'm not going to sugarcoat this shit. I was a doormat, and I feel sorry for that version of me. And I have learned to heal her, take care of her, and make her understand that she is worth way more than that. And that, yes, she gets to have boundaries, she gets to reject people. And when you are like in a vibe of people pleasing and trying your best to have new friends, or like finding your next partner, right? Or where even though you would have those people around, and you're like so into like pouring your entire self and your entire heart into this relationship for it to work, and say yes to everything, absolutely everything that you can, because all you want is to provide love and support, because in return you're expecting to have the same. But the truth is that you don't get as much. You definitely don't get as much as you pour in. When you are in that paradigm of life, it feels so foreign to think or believe that you actually get to be the person who say, no, this is not good enough for me. Whew, let that sink in. Being the person that say, oh, I like that, yes, I'll have that, thank you very much. Be the person that say, I like it, but that needs to be better. This is not good enough for me. So come back when you have better for me. Just being in that feminine energy of I get to pick, I get to choose, where everything flows and you get to have clear boundaries and be like, no. And what comes in my mind in that, and I know you may have that question coming up, because as I said, I've been there. It's like, oh, but if I put my boundaries, if I say no, people will not, they will just take the no for an answer and just leave, right? They would just leave. Or like, if I say no, I cannot say no, because then this is the end of the relationship. Or if I say no, they're gonna get crazy, batshit crazy angry at me because I'm saying no, or they're gonna make me feel guilty because I said no, right? When you are in those, and I'm talking, this is very like low vibe, it's toxic, okay? If you are in those types of relationship, please understand how toxic that is, and how not normal it is, and how unbalanced it is. Because I'm here to tell you that yes, you deserve way more than that. You get to say no, and you get to have actually situations where people will be like, okay, no, this is not good enough, and they will come back with something better for you. Yes, it is possible. It is 100% possible. It's a journey to heal from people pleasing and from codependency, and that's what I'm here for. And this is literally the honor of my life. Every time I pray and I reflect on this and the journey and the healing, and how I am definitely, like, I do not recognize who I used to be. I remember clearly how I felt and why I did the things that I did, but I'm in a place in my physical body right now, in my mind and in my physical reality around me, that looks absolutely nothing like I used to. That looks nothing and that feels nothing like I used to experience before. And I want that for yourself. And I'm like, this is insane how big that transformation was for me. And all I want is for other people who used to feel, who are feeling like I used to feel, I want them to understand that this is not how life is supposed to be. This is not normal. And yes, you get to have way much better, way more than what you're used to right now. So I wasn't expecting this video to last like more than 10 minutes, and we're already 20 minutes down. Please definitely subscribe if you want to have more of this kind of content. And this is gonna be, I don't know how many parts, because there's so much to talk about when it comes to codependency, people pleasing, and generator, and how to go from that low vibe generator to that high vibe generator, where you get to choose and pick and be fully living in flow and joy and excitement and stuff like that. So definitely subscribe, and I will be linking right here the next video whenever it's gonna be ready for you to watch. And I might do a live, and if I do and you're subscribed, you will get a notification. Okay, so make sure you're subscribed, you guys. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you so much. Mwah.